Hi everyone, it's me Giovanni, and I decided to make this video now, really late at night. I'm gonna go to bed at like 10 o'clock, so 1 hour and 6 minutes left. So, anyway, so I wanted to talk about a lot of things, but okay, the main thing is that I kept seeing Help Wanted 2 store explain videos, and I just go back on, well, it's a possibility that yes, this Help Wanted 2 would take place before Security Breach Ruin, but I still go back on the whole ending where you see the POV of the mask bot handing Cassie the Fanny mask, and the fact that Help Wanted 2 would just be almost exactly like the original, because it's not supposed to take place in a real, it's not real. And I can safely say that I still believe that Help Wanted 2 takes place after Ruin. I'm sorry, but especially Wingy fandoms have false information, and that's true. So, there's just no way that Help Wanted 2 takes place before Ruined. It takes place after Ruin, right? The glitch trap virus was probably still at large during Secure Breach Ruin, with the mask bot being in control of the glitch trap virus. And even though Cassie does talk about her father, and there's some things about some of the items that she collects, just like some other things involving FNAF, including characters, we're not going to question about it because it doesn't matter. So, yeah. And besides, since, well, one of Candy Cadet's stories involves a young woman being kidnapped by a witch and almost killed by it, but she escapes. She escapes, and later on she wants to get revenge on the witch. She is followed by a young boy who takes her to a house, but then she realizes that the witch has trapped her in the oven, and so the witch will finally get her meal. The first half of the story is about Vanessa, and the second half is probably about Cassie. So it's most likely that Cassie would have died, but let's just say I'm a sucker for a happy ending, and I would most likely say that the Scooper ending and Ruin would be canon, because it's the only ending where Cassie survives, and the elevator ending is ambiguous, but most likely Cassie would have died, because there's no way a 12-year-old kid, would survive an elevator crash. I mean, maybe, but then again, it is FNAF, but realistically, maybe not. So, yeah, the Scooper ending, probably canon, and besides, even though it's just left, there's no actual continuation or ending to it. It just fades to black, and the ends credits roll. I'm guessing, considering that the Burn Trap and Princess Quest ending would be combined and taken place off screen, it's most likely that Cassie survived and escaped the Pizzaplex and returned to the surface off screen as well, and probably reunited with her father, who was still alive, even though Cassie talks about him in past tense, I would most likely say that he did not die because to be honest, that would be impossible. And considering that it's never specified if Cassie was like really alone during her birthday, she would have celebrated her birthday with her father. She would have invited all of her friends, but her friends never showed up, and she was upset. She was comforted by Gregory and Roxy, and they became friends. And so, uh, you already know the story of Security Breach and Ruin. Like, duh. So, yeah, and I still stand by my point that Help Wanted 2 takes place after Ruin because, well, uh, it's just something. The glitch trap virus was still at large in the Pizzaplex. I can barely even speak. And even though Vanessa wasn't Vanny anymore, the ending involving Vanny killing Glitch Trap is symbolic of Vanessa finally killing Glitch Trap. The Glitch Trap virus as well. So, yeah. Anyway. So, I was at my Nana's during Christmas break, the beginning of Christmas break. We had dinner during Christmas Day, and Christmas Day would usually be during the morning when people would get presents under the Christmas tree. I did not get presents, neither my dad, especially since he was asleep most of the time and until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And my Nana didn't get presents as well, and her husband Mike didn't do a gift exchange, and her friend Melanie didn't get gifts either. So I don't know if Florida just forgot about Christmas or did Santa just forget to have presents for everyone in certain states. I'm just not sure, but it it's nothing. It's probably just because, especially in certain years, things have gotten not like things have gone a bit different and things are not like what they were before. So, yeah. And my Nana and I got into a bit of an argument, and she and I apologized. Well, she apologized, and she actually told me something that really opened up to me. That people complain about the smallest things in life, especially like I talked about people of color, sexuality, diversity, representation, and other stuff like that. And people complained about those stuff, especially back then when it was a thing, when it was still a thing. And I'm just not sure why people do complain about these things. It doesn't matter, especially if it doesn't involve politics, especially the word woke. I mean, when I first heard about it, people said it was political about people of color and sexuality. But in reality, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with politics. Like, what are actual politics? Like, can someone explain to me why? And, you know, after watching Modern Girls' video about ungrateful actresses, one of them, Rachel Ziegler, it turns out that I feel like people, including myself, overreacted about Rachel Ziegler making fun of Snow White because it's not her fault. It's actually Disney's fault. And I completely understand that Disney's been a corrupted company, but after Walt Disney died and such, and Walt Disney obviously wouldn't been happy with the changes to his company now. And despite um, Disney, especially being a bit problematic back then, um, probably um, there's still some good things. Also, I watched a video about these four black women reacting to the Little Mermaid um, remake trailer starring Halle Bailey as Ariel. And I completely understand, especially that I do understand um, that yes, the Little Mermaid became remake is a self selfish cash grab. It's an actual good remake. And there's other good remakes of certain movies, especially by Disney. So why complain about remakes? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I understand why, but mostly no. Just no. Just get out. And besides, if you really hate remakes and just criticize them, let me just tell you, don't watch them or complain about them. Please. I don't want to hear it. But anyways, I was also talking to one of the people that I talked to on TikTok. I was talking about Aaron and F-Mouse age gap again, and I made a recent TikTok about it, about the entire thing. I also had to block people on TikTok because of that whole age gap thing and some other things like F-Mouse controversial problematic past actions or Aaron grooming Afmal. Like, what the fuck, people? And so I talked to Katrina. Um, yeah, that's her name, Katrina. So she said in a few, she commented on a few videos about the age gap thing that her parents actually have an 11-year age gap. And if people love each other, then that's totally fine. And so I talked to her about the whole thing, especially since I know about the My Street series. I know about the characters and their their story, and Avmo and Aaron were literally best friends during Phoenix Drop High, and they and but after My Street season 1, they began dating, and they officially became boyfriend and girlfriend. And sure, even so, that Jason, Afmau's real life husband, was jealous of her character being with certain, um, well, with other characters. It also turns out that Garv has the same age as Aaron, but for some reason people still ship Garv with Afmau, which is weird. So I completely, in a way, I understand why um, Jason was probably jealous of, like, with Garv and Afmau. So yeah, I would probably understand that. So um, I also I said to also the word maturity doesn't say anything about age gaps, so it's entirely bullshit. Okay, so Katrina says, not to mention this was how many years ago, yet people are still bringing it up, being Afmau's problematic past actions, which is absolute bull. I mean, we all experience these types of things, so it's not a surprise to me, and I don't mind.